James Hamilton for MMA UK, joined via Skype by Charlie Leary. Charlie has a big fight coming up this Saturday, and that's in Bellator London against Chris Bungard. So, fight week, Charlie. We do appreciate the time tonight.
No problem, mate. My pleasure.
So it's got to that stage now where I'm presuming all the hard work's done at Team Crossface, and it's about getting ready and making that weight. So how's the camp been?
Well, you say all the hard work, but making weight's the hard work. That's what I get paid for. All the other bits, the fun stuff. So yeah, it's just a weight cut week now. There's staying away from any injuries and stuff like that. Training camp's gone well. Obviously, as every camp does, you've had your ups and downs. But I feel like I'm improving. Every camp I have with Crossface is getting better and better. And I feel like I improve every time. So it's enjoyable now.
Yeah, and just before we speak about your upcoming fight, I'd like to take you back to Bellator 217. You fought Paul Redmond, very close fight. I'm assuming now you've had time to look back at that fight and sort of digest. It seemed to me like it was on a wire, that fight. Give me your thoughts now after having time to watch the fight back.
Pretty much how you said it was tight. Listen, I think take nothing away from Paul. I see why I lost the fight. I still think it possibly could have gone either way. Obviously, having 5,000 people there cheering every time he done anything, and me having 30 people there not making I could hear them, but the judge and stuff don't hear them. Makes a bit of a difference. But I feel like I lost it on just the control he had. Like I think the first round was really tight. I think if you watch it back, the first round was really tight. Second round was convincingly, I thought I took it, but it was tighter than people made out. I think people were like, oh, you took it easy. But it was actually tighter than I think it was made out, but I still think I took it. And the third round, I made a mistake and he took my back and he just locked that on. I didn't ever really feel in danger, but I just couldn't he got the body triangle and he switched it really well. I mean, the guy's a legend. He's a top guy, top athlete. So he knows what he's doing and he just controlled. And if you look at the timing, I think if I'd been able to turn and get top control a minute earlier, I win the round. Whereas I didn't, and he had my back for say 3.5 minutes or whatever it was. I won the last minute, but it's not enough. It's not enough in the judge's eyes. And I take a lot of positives from it. I think given someone like Bungard in my next fight, I like to think everyone's taken positives from a fight like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't think they'd give me someone like Bungard who's right up there if they didn't feel like I performed well. So it is what it is. I'll take the positives from it, learn from the mistakes that I made that cost me, and improve.
Yeah, it's one of those fights, the one with Paul, where I don't think you could have people would have had any complaints if the fight went the other way. I think it was just so marginal, and like you say, that when you got your back, I mean, that could have just been enough to sway it. But obviously they've matched you up against Chris, who's really coming off a big win against Terry Brazier. A fight that probably a lot of people didn't give Chris much chance in. So is that something that motivates you as well? Because Chris is coming in, he's made a bit of his name for himself in the promotion, and you've got the opportunity to take some of that shine.
Oh mate, this is, like I say, this is superb for me. It's a little bit disappointing because I actually really like the way Chris is, especially after he beat Terry. I mean, I'd watched the Terry fights and I'd looked for that fight before. I wanted that fight because I knew he was beatable. And I think everyone underrated Chris and didn't really give him that much of a chance. And he went in and showed how good he really is and got that win. And like I say, I really like the way that he speaks after the fight and he promotes himself really well and things like that. But that's superb for me because I go in and I beat him, then I get all of that behind me now. And it's not like there's any of this stupid bad blood or anything. We're not mouthing off to each other or anything. I respect the guy. The guy's a legitimate high-level athlete, and getting a win against him sticks me right up in the top of the rankings again. So it's superb for me. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah,
that's something that has been noticeable in the build-up to this one. Chris really has been very respectful towards you. You're the same as him, which we would expect from you. I'm assuming you're the same as Chris, and you're basically preparing for a 3-round war in there.
100%, 100%. I can't say now with this sport. This is why I love this sport so much. You can't ever say this is definitely going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Maybe we walk in there, someone gets a knockout in 30 seconds, but I'm expecting a real tough, drawn-out war, and there's no quitting the guy. If you watch any of his fights, he's in the fight all the way through until the last. And I feel like I'm the same. It's going to be an all-out war, and hopefully it's going to be a great show, and everyone's going to be talking about it. So win, lose or draw, it's going to be one of them fights. Everyone goes, "Oh man, you've got to watch that fight." But,
And the other thing as well, obviously, it's down in London, which I'm sure you were very happy about. How much is it going to mean to you to walk out in front of that London crowd and get to experience that?
I fought back just over a year ago in London, Bellator 200, and it was phenomenal. Coming out and just hearing that crowd was superb. Now I know Chris brings a lot of people, but I'm still hoping to actually be the crowd favourite, being the London boy. And I've had a few fights recently where I've been a massive underdog. Like I say, Ireland, whatever it was, 8,000 people or whatever it was, and I had about 30. I went over and fought a Jordanian in Jordan and things like that. So I've been over to Abu Dhabi and fought someone from like that sort of region. So I've had quite a few where I'm the hated fighter or the underdog. It'll be nice to actually have a few more cheers this time. So it does give me a bit of motivation.
Yeah, something a wee bit different, actually having a home crowd and people actually cheering for you rather than against you.
Exactly.
One observation I made when I looked through your record, the one thing through your record is it's always seems to be tough fights you've taken throughout your career. You're an experienced fighter and you've fought some of the best guys around. How much is that, those fights you fought in, wins and losses, how much has that prepared you to go in and fight in a big stage like this?
I honestly think that's the reason why a lot of people like underestimate me, because they look at my record and they go, 15-10, 15-10-1, I think he is at the moment. But yeah, they look at that and go, oh yeah, he's got 10 losses. But like I say, I always try and make sure I fight the toughest and the hardest opposition that I possibly can. I want to be testing myself. And if I do lose, then I learn from it and it's against a genuine opponent. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to pad my record. I don't want to be one of these guys who looks back and goes, oh yeah, I've got a great record. But I fought guys with negative records and this and that. I mean, it happens, you get pullouts, and sometimes early on in your career, you get them fights. But like I say, if you look back at my last, whatever it is, 10 fights, they've all been either title fights or like title eliminator fights or big fights on Bellator and things like that. So I am fighting the best that I possibly can. And again, this is why I'm so pleased to have got someone like Chris in my next fight, because it's a step up again for me, rather than taking a backward step or just trying to get a win on my record.
Yeah, and it's one sort of common thing between yourself and Chris. I've noticed, for example, with Chris in the Terry fight, I felt like almost he was getting overlooked a bit in that fight, and that was maybe a mistake Terry made, which I'm assuming it won't be a mistake you would make. And through speaking to Chris as well, he's certainly looking at you as a very, very tough opponent. Obviously, a lot of guys that know about MMA know how good a fighter you are. So is that something as well? You are not underestimating each other going into this fight?
Exactly that. I think exactly that. Like I say, you can't just look at someone's record and think, oh, okay, yeah, it's this, it's that. You really have to look in deeper and see how far they come. And I also like a lot of my team will watch people's fights and things like that. I don't take too much notice into it because I feel like he's going to have progressed. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I get better every single fight. There's things that I progress every fight. I feel like I'm a different fighter every fight. So I try not to focus too much, especially on the older fights and things like that.
Yeah.
But with that experience, and like I say, there's no way I'm underestimating him. There's no way I'm making that mistake and getting caught like Terry did. And I mean, even if you look at some of the fights that he lost, look at the Colin Fletcher fight and stuff like that. Tough opponent. And he was in their 3-round war with him the whole way through. It wasn't like, oh, yeah, it's a loss. He's ticked that one off as a loss. You look at the fight, it's a tough fight. So you can't just look at guys' records and expect that to be the guy.
Yeah, and even with some fights, there is always stuff that's going on behind the scenes. I know with that fight, there was weight issues as well, where so that maybe came into play. But just to focus on you a wee bit, obviously you're known for being your boxing very good, you've very powerful hands. Is that something over the years you've looked to round out your game overall, rather than lean too much in those hands and that boxing?
100%. I think I started the career, obviously my heavy hands were great, and it got me to where I was at a decent level. And people read that, were coming in, okay, taking down, and it was almost like I'd forgotten about my ground game. like I made mistakes where I would focus on trying to stop the takedown, which meant I wasn't throwing my hands, which then give people takedowns and stuff like that. So I feel like I've progressed on that level again. And even to the point now where I'm focusing a lot more on my ground game and things like that. And it's not just, okay, get up and throw hands. It's go for submissions, look for sweeps, get top position, try and open up my whole game, not just be striker, not just be, okay, yeah, he's got heavy hands. You know what I mean? So I think it's finally coming along. Some of my training partners got the ump with me a little bit with some of my last fights where they say, look, why don't you do what you're doing in training against us in a fight, which is I'm there, I'm striking, I'm taking them down, I'm throwing kicks, I'm beating them up from the top position and that sort of thing. Where in a fight, I'm like, no, I need to get it standing. So I can land shots. So it's just a mental thing. I think I'm over that, and it's like I say, I'm progressing the whole game now.
So when you say there about that aspect of it, is it almost like you're kind of in previous fights you've almost held yourself back a wee bit by trying to do a certain thing in a fight?
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. I'm always thinking about, or in previous fights, I'm always thinking, okay, I'm going to land, and when I land, they're going to start trying to take it down, and I'm almost on the defensive before letting my hand go, or that sort of thing. Whereas if I'm more open, I go, okay, I go on the offensive and get the clinch. Okay, the takedown's there for me, or he takes me down, I can sweep. I've got an really underrated ground game. My head coach Dave's always moaning at me saying, why don't you use your jiu-jitsu? I'm purple belt now. I've got decent jiu-jitsu, but I don't use my jiu-jitsu in an attacking sense. I always end up going, no, use it to wrap him up, stand up, or get back up so I can throw hands, which has been mistakes that I've made, and it's stuff that I've worked on. So.
Yeah, so would it be fair to say then, going into this fight on Saturday, we're probably going to see the best version of Charlie Leary that we've seen so far?
100%. Oh yeah, 100%. I feel like this is going to be a real good showing. Real good showing.
And I guess the other thing is with the lightweight division in Bellator at the moment, it's quite interesting being that we've got the featherweight champ also as the lightweight champ. Do you feel that a big result here, a big result in London against Chris, potentially pushes you right up the ladder and gets you very close to possibly getting into that title shot position?
Oh, 100%. Now, I wouldn't say it would be quite in the title shot position, but it will get me up to fighting some of the top names, because I think with Pitbull now having the title at 145 and 155, whether they're going to have the rematch, because it was a little bit of a controversial. I mean, I think it was a decent stoppage, but a little bit of controversy. It means it packs the division a little bit. So then top contenders aren't getting the title shot. So maybe there's a chance of getting a big American name or someone like that, depending.
Yeah,
so.
And I mean, Bellator's got president. Obviously, Tim Wilde got Brent Primus. That was a great opportunity for Tim. Unfortunately, didn't go his way. And I'm guessing with a lot of European guys that the next step is make your mark in the European scene with Bellator, get on those American shows, those big shows. And that you're no different then, I would imagine.
Exactly that. I mean, to get over and fight in America has pretty much been my dream from the beginning. I mean, when I first started out and watching things like that, it was only America it was big in, really. And it was always, okay, get to America. And I fought all over the world, but I've never fought in America. So the chance to get over to America is superb. I mean, I think they're doing great things with the European cards. Maybe get this win and get a big American name come over a headline or co-headline or something on a big European card would be superb. I'm not fussed. I'm pretty much concentrating on Bungard at the moment, though. I've got to get Bungard first. So.
Yeah, and just lastly, we'll finish on this, shall I? Just talk us through a wee bit about how the rest of the week's looking for you. How does your weight cut look? Do you diet to a point? Then I'm assuming, do you do any water loading? How is your week going to progress with the weight?
So I don't normally water load as such. My last few, I've upped my water intake weeks and weeks out. Just start really up my water intake. So when I'm training, I'm drinking a load. I'm not trying to focus on my weight all the way up until like today, pretty much. And now I start slowly cutting my water up till to Thursday before I actually do my proper weight cut. But I'm pretty much just in the gym morning and evening sweating now. I go in, hit pads, move around, do absolutely nothing that's going to get me injured or take any knocks. Just hit pads, slowly bring my my water intake and my food down. Thursday we've got to go and check in for the hotel, so I'll go check in, check my weight and all that, and then cut the last little bit. Hopefully, be maybe kilo, maybe 2 in the sauna the night before, and be on weight Friday, happy and ready to go.
And after you've made the weight, have you got any particular meals you like to get?
I do like to go to Nando's. I do like a Nando's. It's, you know what's really weird? Everyone goes, "Oh man, you've been eating chicken and veg and chicken and this all the way through." And the first thing that I eat when I've made weight is chicken, pretty much. But I do love a bit of chicken. So Nando's is normally the one for me. Yeah, we go to Nando's and have that, and a full fat Fanta or something.
Aye, just a wee treat for yourself, a cheeky Nando's and a Fanta.
Exactly, that's it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, listen, I won't take any more of your time, Charlie. I really appreciate you coming on and speaking to us. Obviously, best of luck on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to the fight, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon. What's that?
Are you going to be there?
No, unfortunately, my wife is about to give birth to her second child, so
congratulations.
I'm pretty much having to stay within about 100-yard vicinity from her.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Oh, cool. No worries. Well, after the event, give us a call and we'll have another chat afterwards.
Perfect. Thank you very much for the time, Charlie.
Thank you very much, mate. You take care.